much success on these ranged offlaners he's obsessed with. The Silencer comes to mind as another one that is also not great, but he really likes them. And
Kalma lang kalma.
I will reserve my judgment until I see this, but in the major, I would argue the Silencer offlane was one of the main reasons why Entity actually lost and dropped as hard as they did.
Yeah, that's right. That was a little bit tough. We'll see here on the Mirana. I think the thing that is going to be a little bit difficult here is compared to last game for Entity, although of course it's not a last game, it wasn't a Mirana core, is that you don't have phenomenal setup this time like the Fissure was last game for Fishman, right? You do have cogs, you've got hookshot, and of course that can be good enough follow-up, but at that stage of the game, you got to be expecting, if not a Rubik telekinesis shard, 4 staffs or something like that to get allies out of the way. So
no,
I agree with you.
You're definitely expecting the Rubik shard 4 staff dude. Carlo is just the word B word. You know, that's his role. He just saves you. He's not even actually gonna make any plays. His only goal is to make sure that the Meepo is happy and the Storm is happy. So I agree with you there.
I guess then it's, I don't know, this Pango, we'll see. I suspect he might end up going a little bit more into a utility kind of Pango build rather than the kind of carry basher too early on, only because I think he is going to be expecting a little bit of a more difficult lane. And once again, I expect this team to rally more around Watson, or at least try.
Shanks died here to cut to Omi's auto attacks. Okay. In the end, they just kept on hitting a guy with 0 armor, and he's going to go down thanks to concussive shot slow as well. I agree with your point, the Pango. I feel like, again, this lane tends to be very Storm favored as Pango's first matchup, and it still is bad later on in the game against Storm. Diffusal Blade is a must, but usually in these matchups you skip the Ags, or you get it later and you go for an earlier Basher, or alternatively you go for more utility. You also don't go for you don't need to shard this game as early, and you probably go for the Blink Dagger as soon as possible, because that's crucial against Storm. And you'll see soon what one of the main reasons why Pango struggles in this matchup is that early on, this is a very minor thing, but if you like the mid matchups, I'll explain. You want to shield crash to get the range creep, that's your most common thing. Storm sets up static Remnant. You hit the Remnant before you hit the Storm, which means no damage reduction, so you take the full damage of Remnant. So here, Bob did not set it up, he's just avoiding the damage, but he can't do it later on, and it gets even worse later on. Because Swashbuckle is not meant to secure your last hits in lane. It's meant to actually get you in position again.
You're probably hoping to wait for level 3, right? Till you have that Vortex to really threaten to do a ton of damage, perhaps even through that Shield Crash. Especially because then, like you say, you can pull him before Shield Crash gives him that 20% damage buff. And then you just absolutely murder him. So,
exactly.
Level 3.
It's a key part of Pango that I think most people ignore, right? That this hero's really not tanky at all and depends really a lot on the Shield Crash buff. As you can see here, how he tanks the overload damage easily with the Shield Crash buff on.
It's pretty good. He's going to be fairly happy with that. Down bottom, a good amount of Scrim Machine as well, I think, as we expected. But top, they have caught Tino here with the Battery Assault. Watson in the cogs.
They broke it, but it's just you can't do anything.
Did you see that, by the way? Watson got the kill by denying the cog and getting the kill with the spill damage.
Oh, that's clever. That's cool. Nice job, Watson.
Cute.
You know, some flashy points. I mean, this lane's a wash. What do you even expect him to do? Like, really, Richie, if you're in this lane, what do you do as Shanks, dude? Like, pull the waves until Cottle can get enough levels to just push it himself?
Yeah, I was thinking we might see a little bit more tosses as well, as even the Avalanche trying to secure the range creep is going to end up being denied by Watson. I'm not
he
sure.
also did it to get rid of Refraction, I think, so he could eliminate a hit.
Yeah, and he gets a bit of damage in there, right? Trying to blow through the regeneration that you have in this lane. That is perhaps one advantage you have, is that Fishman kind of just awkwardly walks at you until he does catch you in Battery Assault range, and then you're dead. But you do have a lot of chance to get a lot of damage in onto him early on in exchange. Speaking of early on, Stormstormer still doing a pretty solid job overall, even managing to swashbuckle away from that last little static remnants. But again, this is where the lane gets a little bit scarier for him. Level 3 on the Storm. I expect to see that point in Overload now. Remnant for even more damage. And careful here. Vortex. Yep, there it is. Stormstormer has Swashbuckle, but is kind of out of regen here. Brought himself a stick. Yeah, okay, and Tango's good. He's he knows how to play this lane though, right? He's not afraid to ship out more regen. He's rotating away. He's pushing the wave, so he's got a lot of time to go get his bounty refill for the water rune at the 3-minute mark. So he's doing a really phenomenal job here, actually.
Yeah, those are the 2 points that Pango tends to beat the Storm in, is rune control. Not just the water runes, but also bounty runes, because Storm is just walking, right, until he gets level 6. And usually you can recover regardless of what happens in the lane. And Storm needs stacks or something, most of the time. So Stormer playing to the best of his ability. He tried to cancel that shield crash, he didn't, so Bob is going to pile on some damage, but not too much. But you can see he's trying to do that every single time, just to guarantee this kill on Stormstormer.
Yeah. Clarity online now. Stormer out of his last bottle sips. Water runes recovering soon, though. And, you know, right now he's doing a great job of holding his own, because I think something that is a little bit tricky here is if he does kind of pull too many resources, specifically the manpower of his supports on over from the side lanes, you know, they're substantially less kill. You can see Fishman, just how annoying he can really be. I wonder if they're going to try for a kill here. Watson doesn't get that side blade spill damage. The kill's actually down bottom.
Yeah, top lane Tino will still die though. But yeah, bottom Palos falls to Kataomi and Toby. That was surprising actually. Carlo left the lane for a little bit and they just used that to take advantage of poor Palos. Coming back into the lane, still on level 3. This lane not going as well as they hoped for. The overall matchup, Meepo versus Marana, should look better, but right now it is... You're just not as good laner. I mean, you're a Meepo, right? You finally got the level 4, which is a huge point here for Palos. We'll see what he can do with it, or if he's going to do anything at all.
So now what you can really see. I mean, we have seen a lot of the Meepos mid is with this early point in Divided We Stand is rotate towards the mid lane and help contest the minute 6 rune. You are a very strong hero in theory against this Pangolier, because of course with 2 mobility spells, the Earthbind is going to prevent him from doing anything. But you do have to be careful. One of the most fun interactions in Dota actually is Pango. Of course, against heroes, he gets 20% damage resist per hero, and each Meepo clone does count as a hero, unsurprisingly. So you could very easily see Stormer getting up to 100, if not more, damage block, which functionally does nothing. It's just an impressive feat, you know?
Large numbers equals good.
Yes, big number equals good. Top lane, Tino does manage to evade death here for now. There's no...
Carlo's gonna die down bottom. Just constant auto attacks from the Scarlet Mage and Marana, and the slew of Arcane Bolts. He's actually maxing Kataomi. Until now, we very commonly see the build of Concussive Shot on the Scarlet Mage, but he's actually committing to the Arcane Bolt, which will eventually help him scale more, and determines how he doesn't think this lane is actually that hard to win. And mid lane, Bob already got level 6. He finds Stormer, has a double damage as well. Stormer's gonna try to roll, but too late, as he just got enough to experience the creeps, and Bob gets a really valuable solo kill here, determining his dominance.
Oh yeah. Good start for him so far, right? Again, before that Rolling Thunder can get out, crucial, and unable to really live too much against the Storm. It's really nice when you're a Storm Spirit and you have kill potential in your mid lane, because you get to conserve your mana, you push the wave, you come back, and everything's still, you know, in a pretty good position for you to continue trying to snowball your game. Especially important as you're...
Tino's gonna die in the top lane, and Shanks at least gets a toss back to not die to Stormer, but Fishman caught him regardless. And the Battery Selfless Body Block should keep Shanks in place, so Stormer can finally stun him once, twice, 3 times, and the Swashbuckle will finish him.
Good kill there. Good rotation. Next best thing you can do right as Stormer is at least try and rotate one of the side lanes when you know the Storm Spirit cannot come back mid. But Storm is going to go bottom instead where he catches Toby.
Toby is going to try to run away with the lead, but Bob still has plenty of mana to chase him down and gets him with the help of the tower though, which is why this damage or this gold is divided.
Pretty big though. Palos was kind of getting bullied in this lane down bottom, and the Storm surprise rotation, as he does TP from the trees, is going to be able to catch him off guard. Tino, in the meantime, gets some much-needed space to recover in the mid lane. He already has his full mechanism, but it's just not going to do enough versus this TA, right? And perhaps that's the biggest concern right now that Execration have. Bob's game is enabled. Palos is off to a pretty good start, right? He's got his experience. He's good enough. It's about what can you do against this early aggression out from Watson is the question now. And more specifically, what build will Watson go for, right? We've seen a couple games where like this early Blink Dagger, even first item Deso, perhaps.
Bob just got no, sorry, spoke too soon. I thought they had more damage than that. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. You can see TAs go for some pretty early impact item builds. Oh, hold on, they actually might catch Bob. Maybe no, they didn't. He's still fine. Now he's just
playing around. He's just playing around.
Good rotation for Fishman to deny the water rune though. But I am wondering what Watson's going to go for first. It seems like he's committed now for Dragonlance. I was wondering if we were going to see him go for a little bit more of an early aggression item. It's a bit risky, right, into Storm Spirit because your control against him is not 100% guaranteed, depending on Kataomi if he can land the Ancient Seal or not. You know, he's going to continue scaling. So he's going to go for a little bit of a more of a mid-game power spike TA rather than one who's going to come out of the gates super early and try and win them the game, which I think is a very balanced take here.
Palos in the bottom lane does to Toby. Nice little arrow there to the end to catch him. And this bottom lane is also going very entity favored. Last hits though still in Palos' favor as Carlo, next target, has to Fate Pull to survive a little bit longer. And rolling around, Stormer doesn't catch him, but Kataomi will finish him off.
Okay. 2 pretty big kills down bottom. I think Stormer's only a little bit sad he doesn't get any assist gold. It might be even more sad now that Bob TP's in.
Yeah, he ate a Mystic Flare in the silence and now an arrow. Bob came in just to die. Said, hello, Stormer. I don't think I fed you enough.
That's a very big kill. Stormer lives
yes.
throughout the entire thing.
Huge.
He's going to get even closer now to his Orb of Corrosion. Storm Spirit is missing out on very valuable time where he can continue farming. I mean, one, it's a good Storm game. Like, his lane was well. His lane went well. He didn't get a lot of rotations mid lane, which is maybe something he can be a little bit upset by. But he did find a Fairy's Trinket. So, you know, I think all things considered, he can only really blame himself for that kind of a dive. And it really sucks on the Storm hero, right? Especially when you're meant to be an early solution to an enemy hero. Any death you get that's going to further delay this Kaya, this first item, like, it's really going to hurt your mid game here. It's just more time for Watson to continue farming, less space for you to create for Palos, who is also, not too surprisingly, going for a Dragonlance. This item build's still quite popular. Mid.
Stormer will just kill him on auto attacks as Bob tries to join him, but he knows he's learned his lesson, so he's not going to dive this time, which is very important. Palos still farming. Toby will find him though. There's the Starstorm first, still has an arrow, and there's the Earth behind. Palos says, okay, I'll counterattack with the help of the Pango though. Might not be successful as a shield crash, not even the Rolling Thunder, is what kills poor Palos.
Yeah, and top lane, Watson's able to feel confident enough to defend the tower, as, of course, with Refraction, he lives through this bout of damage very easily. So this is really big. I was going to say that the one weakness I see in this entity lineup is that neither Kataomi or Clockwork can very realistically defend waves, like off of towers, right? Especially not the Skywrath Mage. I mean, he barely has any armor as he is. But the fact that this top lane went so well and that Watson had just such a good matchup here, it means that he is able to just do this by himself very easily. He creates his own space. He's farming it super efficiently.
The Meepo just died into the Mystic Flare right now. He's a few hits away from death, but it's not Kataomi who will settle him as the Arcane Bolt doesn't deal enough damage. Hookshot instead from Fishman catches him, and that's going to be a dead pile as Fishman survives the Bob onslaught. Bob, who still wants to go, avenges dead teammate, but there's 3 people nearby, one of which is an Ancient Seal, so Bob decides against it.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Seeing how they can do now. Starting to get a little spicy for Execration in this early game. Bob, again, just trying to farm his way towards this first big item. I think he did farm that big stack, so it's got most of his Staff of Wizardry now. But the other cores are starting to really suffer as a result now. Tino just rushing that Guardian Greaves like we've more or less expected him to. I guess the one saving grace for Execration this game is that they are going to get time, right? I don't know how much space they're going to get, a decent amount, but Entity just don't have good tower push, like straight up. Their tower push is really bad, especially if TA is off in the jungle farming. Like the rest of their other heroes do farm or fight very well, they just don't push towers. So that might be slightly troublesome for them, as they do lose their first tier 1 tower, and Toby is not too close to taking this tier 1 down bottom.
Once you get Dezo on TA, I think you'll be fine, right? You just need that timing.
Second item.
Okay, Stormer. There's the Ancient Seal counter once again, and Bob! Hookshot surprise from behind, they keep it in the Mystic Flare, despite bouncing him around. Entity control the space well, killing off Wob. Carlo being the next target, but Mirana eats a telekinesis. Toby realizes this is not that far gone. He has to retreat instead, leap back, Stormer, giving a little bit more mana. Fishman just walking in with cogs, not gonna trap anyone in them. They want to take this tower, but like you said, the push is still not here. They're waiting for the TA Desolator. Palos joins, going for Stormer. Second Meeple's here as well. The arrow just missed. Palos fighting head on with the help of the Illuminate. Palos, though, is pretty low on HP thanks to the battery assault. He has to retreat one of his Meeples back. Fateful kills off Toby as Fishman's been body blocked here, can't get away, and Palos will end up getting this kill. Bob, meanwhile, is on the hunt, going for Stormer, and also securing another kill for them. While the Scarlet Mage gets away in pig form, the rest of Execration are free to push the mid lane.
Pretty big, actually. Paulo's getting involved. I really thought that was going to be disastrous for the Meepo,
Yes.
showing up to fight that early on, especially once he ate that huge swashbuckle. But fortunately, this Diffusal Blade's not yet online. I think Diffusal's online. He is dead meat there, but does live quite a bit longer, sustains through it, and manages to turn. Like, really phenomenal rotation there. Bob respawns, and Entity are going to be punished for overstaying their welcome a little bit on that tier 1 tower push. Again, their push is horrendous, so as soon as they stop getting kills, they just stand around more or less aimlessly. Down bottom, though.
Yeah, one more kill is going to be acquired here. Yeah, Shanks, one more hit. There we go. But Bob is coming into his rescue. Not to rescue him, rather, but to avenge him, perhaps. Watson doesn't have refractions just yet. We still have to look easy to control him. No
Very
need.
good.
He actually will go down to the storm pretty much alone.
Yeah, stolen arrow as well, right?
The arrow was used. Okay, yeah, that was it.
Nice stun time and good patience there, just waiting for refraction to be down so they maximize the damage as they continue the chase onto Watson. Has one of 2 mithril hammers now. He has the option, of course, of diverting into BKB. I still think Desso's the right choice here. Again, Execration, not the best push for them. They've got really great wave clear, but you should have time to farm up your Desso and your BKB relatively safely.
The stolen arrow from Carlos doing work here, and that secures the kill against Fishman. And they're trying to concussively shot Bob. Bob cannot be targeted, cannot be touched. Neither can Carlo. Runs away.
Yep.
He's already put his favorite item, drops, to be faster.
Yes, yes. And Stormstormer has his, maybe a Pango's favorite item in the early game, at least. Diffusal Blade is about to be delivered. If he lets his courier catch up to him, there it is. So this is a big moment now for Entity. Now they can really take a fight. They've got some serious damage and pretty good counter against the Storm. This is a big fight.
Execration. Okay. They get an avalanche onto 2, and the kill Stormstormer first. That means no Diffusal Blade here, so no reveal whatsoever. Kataomi will fall quickly afterwards, right? Just waiting for the... Oh, no, Bob doesn't want to go. They actually didn't let him go.
Found a bigger catch.
He's a much better target. Watson
Wow.
actually was pushing forward below, out of position, and killed.
Yeah, Watson took the tower down bottom during all that. I don't believe he expected the Storm Spirit to just be that full on mana, honestly. But between the Greaves and the level 4 Chakra Magic, he's ready to fight again. I think they just really didn't expect that. They didn't really respect the Coddle Storm, you know? As dumb as a combo as it is, like, it's just uptime. It's like Io Lesh. It's Io Storm. Like, he just has mana. And you're not expecting that when he goes so deep on that... little like staircase encounter and then zips all the way out of range. You're like, he's out of mana, he's running home. But no, like Kaya, Chakra Magic, he's so good. Yeah, bit of an overcommitment there from Entity. I think that's a learning lesson for them. They need to learn from that.
Okay, so Storm tries to cover Fishman's escape, but won't work. However, Storm has been silenced. He's stuck in the cogs and he'll die. And so Fishman, he sacrificed himself for a mid laner. Very, very good.
Yes, phenomenal kill there. And that's some much needed space and time. We'll see how well that works out for him. Shanks, though, has found his own space and time on this top lane, where he's been farming away pretty quietly, and now has the Blink Dagger about to be delivered. Palos now with level 3 Divided We Stand is going for the dig build. And in case you haven't seen this, it's like the Stoneform Ags Shard upgrade for Visage, except for each Meepo, except you don't stun, of course. Very powerful, this game, right? It allows you to break like meld. You can maybe try and avoid a painful battery assaults into hookshot kind of a combo. Of course, you can't use it if you're silenced, so that'll be the biggest question mark. Who's Kataomi going to prioritize with this Ancient Seal, right? This 6-second silence, it's a huge utility right now for Entity.
Yes. Their biggest one, right? And until the Storm gets BKB, in which case, then the Scarlet Mage is just going to be chicken feed, honestly. Watson,
Palos.
Palos, he knows because they're hunting for him in the top
But
lane.
it's funny because Execration, they're making the exact same move, and no one's going to find each other here.
Yeah, but they don't have a voice line to prove it, so we don't know what Entity was thinking.
That's true. We cannot be sure. What we can be
only
sure
know
of
that
is
Execration.
Yeah, neither team has their tier 1 tower yet, or their opponent's tier 1. Oh, there's the toss back.
Toss back. And that is our support. That is a offlane Mirana who just died here. Fishman trying to go for a support instead. Shanks might die to the Mystic Flare here. Healed by the Garden Gate. They steal Rolling Thunder. And Carlo is doing a pretty great job here. Unfortunately, there is no follow-up, so it's not going to mean much here. Hoping to stun the Pango. That's not going to work. Bob, ball lightning's away. Arcane Bolt won't kill him. Carlo, though, now put himself in a really precarious position, and he'll die to the shield crash.
That's fine.
Really, really good Rolling Thunder from Carlo. Unfortunately, he needed a team.
Yes. No, but it's
Storm?
important because
Bob?
I believe he prevents
Okay, he's
Bob
fine, he's
from dying there, honestly. Ooh, the TH trap? I don't know about this. There is
Yeah,
Palos nearby.
you're right, but Bob was choosing to die and then chose not to die and then chose to die again. It's all
You're right.
Bob doing that.
But that's how he loves to play his spirits, you know? He's like, guys,
he's
Chakra Magic
Dota.
me, give me Guardian Greaves, you know,
Yes.
toss back another hero. Like, that's how this team plays around him, right? And the entire time, Palos is just quietly farming away in the jungle, still managing to slightly out-farm Watson, although it is pretty neck for neck. Watson, though, with his Desolator now, he is going to be quite the force to be reckoned with. He's got Roche. He's got objective potential now, right? It's Roche and towers, as well as some pretty great targets for him to try and blow through, right? Tino, if he gets on top of, is just dead. This Rubik just dies to him. Meepo a little bit tankier, right? But you're starting to actually do damage here.
Shot. Fishman just pushes the tiny back, and now Fishman's pushed back with the Telekinesis, but Storm recovers his escape. It's all good. Just a bunch of this squaring up at mid is quite funny because I mean, isn't Meepo winning from this? As he's just farming the whole map now? It finally has the axe. He's actually going for a Yule Scepter on the Meepo.
That's fascinating.
Which
oh,
I don't
you know
know
you
if
can
this is-
you can use other Meepos from Meepo Prime because it counts as the same
really?
hero. I believe so. I think I
Oh.
saw a Reddit comment on this. Again, Meepo is one of these heroes that eludes me. I'm just not that interested in this hero, honestly, mostly
I
because
have no clue about Meepo.
But I believe you can use other Meepo
Oh,
clones.
Meepo Prime. Meepo Prime, no! Oh, wait, here come the other Meepos. They're still gonna die,
Greaves?
I think. Oh, Greaves.
No way. No way.
The Illuminate 2. He walked back into it. Fishman got him with a battery assault there. Or sorry, Kataomi gets him with the Arcane Bolt. As Stormer rolling around, doesn't find anyone. Entity will retreat.
That's pretty pog, though.
That was almost
genuinely-
a save by the Coddle, yeah.
Yeah, I thought we were going to see some pretty wicked force staff out into, you know, pushing everyone away, but just barely caught on range there, and does unfortunately end up walking back, as you say. Didn't get the dig off in time, and that's why he wants the Yule Scepter, right? Is again, let me look this up, right, just to make sure. There's no excuse for me to not get it right, but I believe you can Yules yourself as a Meepo.
Oh, Bob now. He's been silenced, he's been rooted, Shanks covers him. Nice avalanche onto 3. However, Toby does come with a lot of healing, and Shanks will have to die for his mid laner here. Hookshot misses though, so Fishman won't get anything more from this. But Entity, I mean, they'll take whatever kill they can get.
Yeah, and it's a big one for them, right? Once again, they continue defending their own tower, which is going to allow Watson to continue farming up. I mean, he's just vacuum farming, right? At the rate that they're going at, it does slightly feel like Palos may not be able to carry this, especially if Bob is going to be... Well, honestly, it's not so much Bob playing a little bit careless. I'd say he does like to tap dance on that line quite a bit, but at the same time, I can't really blame him, seeing as they've got some pretty good counters to him as well.
Would you say tap dance? I think he likes to take a huge steaming dump on that line many times. There's some games on his Ember where it's like borderline. Is Bob defeating? Like what is happening right now? Like he just thinks the way to get back into the game is by getting more kills, which is a crazy aggressive playstyle.
Yep.
And mostly
by the
solo
way,
kills as well.
I just jumped into demo mode. You can indeed use other Meepo clones.
Meepos? Okay,
yes.
cool.
So, and it fully dispels as well as you'd expect the item. So it does not count as a Wind Waker. No worries. So no Wind Waker this early on. Or Wind Walker, whatever. It's simply just going to be the the Yule Scepter.
So not Wind Waker. It's Wind Waker. There's no
I have
L.
no idea.
It's like the Zelda game. That's what it's based
Yes,
on.
I know. I get confused because I never played the Hookshot.
It's a great game. It's a great game. Rubik. Okay, saved by the Greaves for now. Pango, ooh, he messed up the box there. Actually bunked against something. Carlo now steals a shield crash. A lot of damage resist Carlo, somehow still alive. Carlo almost getting away with his life. Toby, though, might die as a result. Storm's committing. BKB committed from Bob. However, lacking mana, still has a magic wand, some help. The physical damage is really high. Bob needs to be careful not to die here. Storm almost got him with a shield crash there. Instead, settles for Tino.
No way.
Can't find
No
anyone
way.
at the end. Now a Meepo comes in with his onslaught of Meepos. Is he going to kill anyone? There's the Yules used already. That's the only Meepo that's a little bit low on HP. Still silenced. And they all start digging. Underground is nicer. Bob comes back in, hoping for the kill on Fishman, but Bob is not going to face Stormer. There's Chakra Magic ready for Bob, so he can run away again. The Fusel Blade annoys him. He gets the jump. However, Tino will have to pay for Bob's sins. Truly, this team, everyone pays for what Bob's doing. He's sacrificed 3 of his teammates already in his plays.
Yeah, that fight was actually pretty crazy there. The Yule Scepter actually making a bit of a difference. Meepo just too darn tanky now, especially with that dig. Ended up working out really well. And again, how big a difference this Coddle's making. Like, Bob is getting away with murder a lot of the times here. Not in the literal sense, because they don't actually kill anyone too useful there, but in the sense that he is zipping barely back in range of his Coddle, and then from there he gets a Chakra Magic, and then zips actually to safety. I think there was like a handful of times there that he probably dies, and now maybe he doesn't get away with that anymore. Stormstormer has himself, the Blink Dagger, but also after his Diffusal Blade did just build into the Skull Basher. That's going to be a problematic item. A heads-up purchase as well from Watson, who is incredibly annoying with the Ag Scepter Shard, or the Ag's Shard that he has now on the TA, right, which does silence depending on how long the trap has been deployed, if it's fully charged. And that's super problematic for the Meepo, right? That AoE silence is huge once this Ancient Seal hasn't been enough.
Okay, this play is kind of going to work out for now. They like the damage to actually finish off Fishman, and Fishman's still alive. He might die to Bob, but Carlos overcommitted for this. Now healed up ever so slightly. They catch up to Toby. They also committed the BKB here for Bob. Carlos, almost still alive, finally killed up by Stormstormer. And this team fight's getting quite chaotic as Shanks is now eating up a whole Mystic Flare. Stormstormer sees the opportunity, but he's lacking the mana, and the Meeples are now being killed off. Now, yes, sure, the dig will save him for a couple of seconds, but he's going to spawn back into the cogs with the help of Bob. I mean, this actually works out. That's all he is, just resetting the team fight. Palos, though, one clone's getting pretty close, and that is going to be the clone that ends up killing the pack. Palos ends up losing his life with Bob not accomplishing the kills he was looking for. Only Fishman dies. Tino now on the run. Greaves still available. Just got him back. Uses him one last time before he falls. Execration. These team fights, they almost look good, much like most of their best of threes, but ends up being a loss overall.
Yeah. That's a huge fight as well out from Entity. Do buyback, so it's a dieback on the Stormstormer, but it's not going to really matter. I'm surprised they have not considered Roche yet. Maybe they just would feel a lot safer with this BKB. Execration, don't do it too quickly. Don't really have any really amazing minus armor. And it's just Meepo who would need to basically ransack the hell out of Roche to take it down quickly. But Entity with a really, really good fight. This is going to basically guarantee Watson his own BKB. After that, the lockdown becomes a bit troublesome on him. This was the BKB reveal basically for Bob, and it just doesn't work out well enough. You know, he zips in and he just kills Stormstormer, who buys back. Like, just simply not worth it for him. The fight positioning as well from Execration felt super forced. There were like two heroes trapped inside that ward cliff, basically, or on that little like overhang there on that dead end. And that's basically just where Skywrath Mage starts cleaning up. Great fight from Entity. They pick a strong position to fight in, and
Bob?
Okay,
he's gonna try to kill Skywrath Mage. This is an easier kill for sure, but still impossible against 4. And now, once again, it's the supports who jump in, try to save him. Carlo, though, will live this time. Oh,
but it's not worth it. He pops BKB for that.
No. He goes back in, though. Into the cogs, into the silence, into the root as well, but he gets Chakra Magic, and somehow they kill Kataomi. As now, Fishman is the next target for the Meeples. They're going for supports first, and it works out. Palos bunching up. Bob this time went a bit too far.
Oh, no way.
He'll be saved by the ball lightning, just barely. And Palos, much higher in HP, really wants to continue this fight, but they need Bob for it, who's in and out, and now out into the base. They're going to go for Roche? No, they're considering it. They're spreading around it.
Oh,
there goes Shanks. Doesn't get the toss back he was looking for.
Yeah, didn't want to risk the avalanche in case the leap got off in time, but unfortunately got neither there. Yeah, and then just a quick correction, man. The freaking Illuminate heal doing work here. This Guardian Greaves passive as well, right?
Yeah.
When you're below 25% health, increasing by 8 armor basically negates the effect of the Deso here in terms of its minus armor effect, of course, not the damage. Everything coming in clutch there to just barely keep this Storm alive. It has to be super frustrating for Entity. But as soon as Rolling Thunder is committed, it does feel like they do slightly have very, very little lockdown problems if the silences are not crucial enough.
Shax. Okay, he got pushed off the high ground. There's shield crash. No, that went too far. Shax is still gonna. No, he's gonna live. 4-step. Healing.
So surely
Shax?
He dies.
Finally. That took way too long. And now they cut the healer. And the old man has nowhere to escape but the grave. They now secure Roche with this, most likely. No Coddle means Roche is considerably easier.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially now that you're... Whoa, Deso's nearly maxed out. They're really fighting this? Bob? Just scouting.
No Chakra Magic, though.
Yep. All right, that's fine. He had a
I mean, as
bottle.
long
That's the
as-
bottle for it.
What is... Oh, you missed the intersection. Oh, missed the intersection. Is Bob a grab driver? What is happening right now?
Hello, I'm here. What? Where are you? I'm here.
Palos, he's the target. Someone pick him up. Oh, no. His friends are here too. And Bob is trying to go for the Roche
Bob
pit,
got the
but
Roche.
they need to dig. They don't dig in time. Palos is dead. Now the silence Bob. He's forced back to his BKB. He's out of the Roche pit. But into the frying pan of TA. They end up killing him with a swashbuckle. They also catch up to Shanks, who falls easily. And now only Carlo is going to survive. Hook shots himself to safety. Does he have a TP available? He does, but in comes the Rolling Thunder, and he didn't TP in time. Carlo will end up dying with a single bonk from the Rolling Thunder. Huge win for Entity. Execration are losing their marbles a little bit.
Yes, they are, and maybe even the game here, Avo, as things are really starting to snowball out of their control. This TA is basically fully online now. 20 stacks of the Deso. Crystal is about to be delivered. Blink Dagger, BKB still a long duration with 8 seconds. You have the other cores as well, really starting to come into their own now with their own items. Stormer figures, and I think he figures correctly here, by the way, that he's going to play a little bit more around just having Rolling Thunder, not necessarily the Ag Scepter upgrade, and is going Octarine before even the Ags, just playing off the strength of this, I suppose, this Basher, this Diffusal, right? And being magic immune in these fights really makes it quite annoying for Meepo to just do anything in these fights, especially when the dig duration is, you can just outweight it using the Rolling Thunder. So that can be a little bit brutal here. This game looking real tough. This BKB reveal for Bob just not working out, just way too aggressive, unfortunately, which I do love. It's one of my favorite traits about him, but does need to kind of temper it here in these kinds of games.
I mean, it's a lack of consistency that's always condemns Execration in these plays.
Hook shot,
Tino.
mid lane.
Oh, they can't lose Tino. He's crucial for the team fight. Stars Greaves and forced out. There's the pipe activated too. Tino just pressing all the buttons, trying to get away. But Old Man is rooted and Old Man is dead.
So tanky. Got the pipe out. Has that Nether Shoal as well for the damage resist. Not magic damage resist, that is, but it just doesn't make a difference.
Honestly, he's trying his best, but I feel like Tino has reached the point where he just needs to be really far back in these team fights.
Yeah.
So he can actually survive enough to heal the meepos.
Yes, and he needs to be able to give the chakra magic to the Bob. He is basically just Mercy
To
now,
the Bob.
pretty much, honestly. Yeah, he just needs to be alive in these fights now. It's his time to be super aggressive and hitting these big illuminates onto 5 enemies. Like, we're beyond that now. It's time for you to retire, you know. You can't shovel the driveway anymore, old man, you know. Oh, toss back. This
won't work.
Wow.
In fact, the TA, that's going to be the Aegis lost. However, they're not going to set up here because they know it's a little bit dangerous. They can still fall into the arrow. They try to use the Earthbind, and they force the BKB from the TA. Not bad. Win overall.
I respect this from Entity. It's overly safe, you know. Maybe a little bit of boy cried wolf, but it's the right move to make in a game like this. You're going to continue outscaling your enemies here, as long as you don't lose too heavily. Fishman, hook shot, can't come out of time.
I mean, Bob finally gets support kills he was looking for the whole game.
Yep.
And look, Chakra Magic. Oh. And the thing about Bob is he's going to play like he has Chakra Magic, whether Tino is alive and gives it to him or not. So you better give it to him. It's like a constant threat from Bob.
Okay, there's a pretty significant item picked up here by the Meepo as well. I'd like to point out I have Scotty finished up. Always great against your ranged heroes. The stats, of course, is shared with the other Meepos, but only Meepo Prime gives the auto attack modifier of I have Scotty. So you need to, the way you can tell this in fights when you're just watching the game, by the way, is whichever Meepo has the level indicator next to his health bar, that's Meepo Prime. That's the one that's going to be getting and hitting with auto attack modifiers, other than, of course, Ransack, right? So keep that in mind. If you see him actually hit the TA, kind of a big deal, slightly a big deal, as she is not one for very good who is running away after she does get hit with that attack and move speed slow.
Yeah, exactly. So they're banking on Carlo. Oh, he's crazy. He's Bob now. In fact, with a toss back, and they kill the offline Marauder in time. They do. Toby has been bursted. In exchange, though, it seems like for Kataomi, sorry, for Shanks, mind you, as they go for Kataomi instead in the backlines, is Bob once again, who's already active in BKB. TP's in the middle of 4. This madman is not going to get away with it this time. They do kill Fishman, but
found a
one of the
Meepo.
Meepos is in trouble. Can they use him? They don't have it.
Oh, he didn't dig.
Palos is just going to lose his life, or his lives, as the attempted TP from Tino is thwarted by a single bash from Stormer. Another win from Entity, even though it looked kind of good for Execration for once.
It did, yeah. Just a little bit of an overextension there. I mean, Bob is doing great work, I have to say. Like, holding back this TA, holding back the Skywrath Mage, who could be, you know, presenting way bigger problems for the rest of Execration's team fight. But the problem is he's still heavily countered by these heroes himself, right? So he's, like, kind of just throwing himself into the embers and making space for a team fight that still ends up kind of breaking down and collapsing as soon as he does go down. I have to commend him, though. I think this is kind of how he has to play this game because, as we can see, like, yeah, this Meepo just is not going to be able to fight any of these heroes. Like, you just can't 5v5 on this hero. You just, it's not doable in a game like this. Someone has to kind of force spells and objectives onto the backlines. And between Shanks and Bob, you know, you're going to be more willing to commit bigger spells on Bob than you are this Tiny, especially after he uses his one combo on Tiny. Like, sure, you're scared of him, especially with Chakra Magic. You can't ignore him, but it's much more on Bob, who is going to be having a bit more of a bigger impact here in these fights.
Palos? Oh, he went really far forward. You saw that. TP's to the tier 2.
Okay. Again, that's Meepo Prime. That's also the one that can Yules himself as he's silenced.
Of course, yes.
And the one that has to Yules other Meepos, so...
Yes, so if he's stunned, it's a problem.
Right. Yes, very true. Or muted, but I don't see any... Nullifiers. Oh wait, Nullifier doesn't do that
Nullifier is a
anymore.
mute. It's just a spell. Mute is only Doom now.
That's right.
Or Hex, I guess.
And Hex. Technically Hex. But you got bigger problems if you're Hexed. Because then Alvaro is telling the entire world about how delicious a picky you would be.
I have researched new recipes for this tournament. Appropriate to all the regions that we're watching today. But for today, we're not going to have any Hexes. We don't have any pigs yet. We just have a little rat or whatever the hell Meepo is. Trying to live his best life. Hustling his way to victory. Will he succeed?
To kill him, though.
Certainly not. Look at this. The system is against the Meepo. Will Meepo survive? All his friends get stunned. Oh, he also stunned his other friend, Bob. But he still has BKB, and they know this.
No, he just ate the arrow.
They hit him with the arrow. They forced him away from Mystic Flare. Doesn't matter. Bob is dead before he can get BKB off, and that means Shank should also fall here rather quickly. And Paul's is fighting alone. They need to buy it from Bob, and they use it. Yules, they need to use one of the Meepos who's still silenced. Finally got it away. Now he can dig underground, and the Meepos
Big dig.
Watson, the target. They might kill him with Bob's lacerating
Oh,
Bob, but they chuck the
no, the
It's
refraction.
not gonna work. Bob dies twice in the same team fight, and Watson gets away. Fishman though might fall, but who cares at this point? Fishman is not as valuable as 2 Bobs and maybe 1 Pauls as well, who has 4 of him. More to kill, more to murder. Go Toby, he got it. It's gonna be another Palos as Stormstormer wreaks havoc in the remaining backlines of an Execration that's dismantled and destroyed.
That was wild, dude. And that's this Octarine core really paying off, isn't it? My man, Stormstormer, he gets 2 Rolling Thunders off in that fight. It's not even like that long a fight, to be honest. It's just... He just is able to get that off with Octarine. He makes a huge difference there, especially on that second Rolling Thunder, the counter initiation there. Bob, once again here, good buyback, gets in very quickly on his BKB, and they're just like 30 damage short of killing Watson. And I think that's about as close as they're ever going to get to have killing him, honestly. I don't see that ever getting... I don't see them ever having another chance at that. I think this game's too far gone. 25k, you're down with a Meepo, just not really a comeback kind of a hero. I think this one's all but over now.
Yeah,
they're going to need like some toss back into fountain kind of garbage. I just don't see that happening here.
Who knows? You know, Shakes has been doing some good tossbacks.
He
the
has.
last thing that C loses is faith, right?
Look,
Or
I mean,
that's South America.
you have a Force Staff, you have Telekinesis, and you have Toss. But, of course, you can't toss onto a Ball Lightning target, so otherwise that'd be hilarious. So, it's... I don't know. I foresee it's only a matter of time. I think this is where, if you're Entity, you just slow roll this one a little bit. You take your guaranteed win here in the best of 2 group stage. Of course, the format of DreamLeague Season 19 is best of 2s, and it's all about getting outside of the first group stage, because this isn't even the first group stage, you know? Or this isn't even the last group stage. It's only the first one, right? So you take your wins when you can get them, I think is the strat.
I mean, look, the Execration 1-1 is a special at this point, right? These guys live in the 1-1s perpetually. I don't think they can win a 2-0. Yeah. Stormstormer. Okay, hookshot. We'll save him. The arrow catches Bob, and Bob connects his BKB for this aggression, so he's dead already. Now the Meepos go in, but the Meepos are controlled, and they're alone. Goodbye, Meepo.
Exterminated the Meepos.
Okay, now this is just... There we go.
Yeah, that's GG. They call it. Wow. Does a little bit like Caddyshack, where oh, what are these meepos? These meepos are digging holes. And Watson kind of walks on over and drops some fully lit dynamite into the little meepo dig holes and just absolutely committed murder. I mean, just brutal here. Brutal stuff out from Entity. Phenomenal game from Watson. I mean, look, I don't think he played game one too bad. I think his idea of going for the Battlefield